I always find the best comedy is a good drama.
Yes.
So when you first did this film, what was the purpose? Like you had to find the humanity in it first, especially with alien abduction. How did you approach that, making sure that's captured before we can jump off into the comedy?
Yes. I grew up with my mom and my sister and my grandma, and I always felt very interesting the relationship that a daughter and a mom have. You know, the arguments, the way they talk, and I learned very young age don't get involved with that. But when we were writing the script, we always felt like our main character Hartley, she had a struggle, and it felt right. You know, she lost her grandma. She grew up with her grandma that she lost. Her mom is back in her life, and she has to deal with that around the whole things happening to the movie. So I felt like it's very realistic, humane thing to put in the story, and it felt like it shows the character grow. You know.
And then therefore you could have fun with some of the comedy elements. Now that you built that foundation.
Exactly, yeah, and it just felt like I always loved that idea about like a girl's car broke in the middle of the desert, and a guy comes up, and he's a alien, like turned out to be an ultra-terrestrial. It just felt it's a perfect indie recipe, in my opinion. And with the desert landscape of the desert, it just felt like it's a perfect indie to make it here.
Now, Olivia, what did you see in her that made you know that she was right? She was the only person that could play her.
Yeah, Christina Heller, our producer and writer, she went through the casting, and we did open call, and we got thousands of Hartleys. And she was cool enough to just separate the best ones and show me. And when we saw Hartley, like we saw together, and it was like,
That's the one.
that's when we saw Olivia Blue. We like, that's Hartley right there, and it was just like we couldn't get over it. Like how perfect she played and honest she was with the character. Yeah.
Okay, last question. We don't want to give any plot spoilers, but what was the most fun moment for you on set?
I gotta say, there's a lot of fun parts in the movie, but I really like the first day. It's just because it was the first day shooting, and I always dreamed to make a movie.
Yeah.
And then we go there, and everything goes so smooth. We had like 3 scenes to shoot throughout the day. Everything was nice. Everybody was happy. Everybody was prepared.
Yeah.
And it just felt like, okay, this is happening. I'm making it's happening. And it felt like so. I felt so full. Like I felt like, okay, I'm doing something cool. And it was. I cannot. It's one of my favorite days. I think it was one of my favorite days. Yes.